You drift now into the time before time, when silence held the universe in its gentle embrace. Close your eyes and feel yourself floating backward, beyond memory, beyond dreams, to the moment when all was void and waiting. Here, in this sacred emptiness, you witness the first stirring of creation. In the beginning, there was only the great yawning void, a chasm of nothingness that stretched without end, breathing softly in the darkness. You feel its vastness around you, comforting in its completeness, perfect in its silence. This is where all stories begin, in the quiet space between what was and what would be. To the north of this gentle void lay Niflheim, the realm of mist and shadow. You can almost taste its cool vapors on your tongue, feel the soft touch of ancient fog against your skin. Here, 11 rivers flow with the rhythm of eternity. Elevija, they are called, the primordial streams. You listen to their whispered songs as they wind through landscapes of silver and grey, carrying within their waters the seeds of all that would come to pass. These rivers flow and flow, each drop a note in creation's lullaby. As they move through the endless mist, they begin to freeze, slowly, peacefully. Ice forms like delicate crystals on a winter window pane. Layer upon layer, breath upon breath, the ice builds. You watch it grow with the patience of mountains, each formation more beautiful than the last. Frost flowers bloom in the darkness. Glacial cathedrals rise in silence. To the south stretches Muspelheim, the realm of gentle fire, not the harsh flame that burns and destroys, but the warm glow that nurtures and creates. You feel its tender heat against your face, like sunlight through closed eyelids on a peaceful afternoon. Here dwells Surtur, the guardian of the southern fires, patient and eternal, tending flames that will one day paint the sky in colors beyond imagining. The heat from Muspelheim drifts northward like a sleepy sigh, meeting the ice of Niflheim in the heart of Ginnungagap. Where fire touches ice, magic happens. You witness this first miracle of creation, as gentle as dew forming on morning grass. The ice begins to melt, not with violence, but with the soft surrender of winter to spring. From these melting drops, life stirs. The droplets gather and dance, swirling together in patterns older than time. They form and reform, guided by invisible hands, shaped by dreams not yet dreamed. And from this sacred union of ice and fire, from this tender meeting of opposites, emerges the first being, Ymir. You see him now, rising from the primordial waters, like a peaceful giant awakening from the deepest sleep. Ymir the ancient, Ymir the first, his body vast as countenance, his breath the rhythm of tides. He is both terrible and beautiful, raw creation given form. His flesh gleams like morning frost, his hair flows like melted glaciers, and in his eyes dance the first lights of consciousness. Ymir does not walk as mortals walk, but moves like continents shifting, like seasons changing. His very existence transforms the void around him. Where his feet touch the waters of creation, land begins to form. Where his breath mists in the air, clouds gather. He is the first dream of the world, and the world dreams him in return. But Ymir is not alone in this dawn realm. From the same melting ice that birthed him comes another wonder. You watch as the drops of water gather once more, this time taking a different shape. 4 legs emerge, then a massive body, then a head crowned with magnificent horns. This is Audhumla, the primordial cow, the nourisher of worlds. Audhumla is beautiful beyond words. Her hide shimmers with the pale light of stars not yet born. Her eyes hold the depth of future oceans. She moves with the grace of rivers finding their paths to the sea, and from her udders flow for streams of milk, pure and white as fresh snow, sweet as the memory of paradise. This milk becomes Ymir's sustenance. You watch as the great giant drinks deeply from these life-giving streams, his body growing stronger with each drop. The milk flows through him like liquid starlight, and where it touches his flesh, new life begins to stir. From his left armpit, moistened by Audhumla's divine milk, grows the first man and woman of the giant race. They emerge like flowers blooming in fast-forward dreams, perfect and peaceful. From Ymir's legs comes another wonder. As he sleeps the deep sleep of creation, his limbs intertwine, and from this union springs forth the sun, the first of the giants proper, born not from ice and fire, but from the dreaming flesh of their ancestor. This child grows quickly in the gentle warmth of creation's dawn, and soon there are more giants. A family of immortal beings dwelling in the spaces between worlds. But Audhumla has her own purpose in this cosmic dream. While Ymir sleeps and the giants multiply, she begins her sacred work. You watch in wonder as she turns her attention to a great block of salties that gleams like a mountain of crystals in the primordial light. With her warm tongue, she begins to lick the ice, slow and steady as erosion, patient as eternity itself. On the first day of her licking, hair emerges from the ice. Beautiful hair, golden as summer wheat, flowing like silk in invisible breezes. On the second day, a head appears, noble and serene, with features carved by divine hands. And on the third day, the entire form is revealed. You see him step forth from his icy chrysalis, perfect and whole. This is Buri, the first god, grandfather of wonders yet to come. Buri is tall and strong, but his strength is the quiet power of deep roots and ancient stones. His eyes hold the wisdom of unspoken truths, his hands the skill to shape worlds. He moves through the dawn realm with purpose, bringing order to the beautiful chaos of creation, where the giants dream in their primal innocence. Buri thinks and plans and hopes. Soon Buri takes a wife from among the giant folk. For in these early days, the boundaries between god and giant are as fluid as morning mist. Their union brings forth a son, Bor, who inherits his father's divine nature and his mother's ancient strength. Bor grows to maturity in this realm between ice and fire, learning the secrets of creation from the whispers of wind and water. When Bor comes of age, he too finds love among the giants. His wife is Besla, daughter of Bolworn, wise and beautiful as the dawn itself. Their marriage is a celebration that echoes through the void, a joining that will shape all futures. The very stars pause in their courses to witness this union, knowing that from it will come the architects of the world. From Bor and Besla spring 3 sons, 3 brothers who will change everything. You see them born in sequence, each a marvel greater than the last. First comes Vili, whose name means will, and in his eyes burns the determination to shape reality according to divine vision. Next arrives Ve, whose name speaks of the sacred, and whose touch can sanctify the mundane and make the profane holy. And last, but never least, comes Uenin, Odin the Ulf, whose single eye already gleams with the knowledge of what must come to pass. These 3 brothers grow strong in the shadow of sleeping Ymir, learning the ways of creation from observation and instinct. They watch how the giant's breath creates weather, how his movements shift the very fabric of space. They see how Audhumla's milk nourishes life, how her patient licking reveals hidden truths. All of this they store in their hearts, preparing for the work that awaits them. But as the brothers mature, they begin to understand that the age of innocent dreaming must end. Ymir, for all his primal majesty, is wild and unformed. His very existence threatens to keep the world in chaos, preventing the ordered beauty they envision. The giants, too, grow numerous and restless, their dreams becoming darker, their influence spreading like shadows across the Dawn realm. The brothers confer in whispers that sound like wind through empty spaces. They speak of necessity and sacrifice, of the price that must be paid for creation to truly begin. Their decision, when it comes, is not made in anger or hatred, but with the solemn knowledge that all birth requires the ending of what came before. You feel the weight of this cosmic moment, the pause before everything changes. The three brothers stand together, divine purpose flowing between them like shared breath. Ymir sleeps on, massive and magnificent, unaware that his role in the great story is drawing to its close. Around them, the realm of ice and fire waits, poised on the edge of transformation. The first age is ending, as gently as winter snow melts into spring rain. What comes next will be shaped by divine will and sacred intention, but it could never have existed without this primal foundation. Ymir's sacrifice approaches, not as violence, but as the natural order of creation itself. In his ending will be all beginnings. In his death will be born the world. You rest now in this moment of perfect potential, feeling the vast story gathering itself like a wave about to break upon the shores of reality. Sleep comes easily here, in this space between what was and what will be, cradled by the gentle rhythm of creation's first heartbeat, wrapped in the warm promise of wonders yet to unfold. You drift now into the sacred moment of transformation, where the three divine brothers stand at the threshold of creation's greatest work. Feel yourself floating in the cosmic stillness as Odin, Vili, and Vi gather their divine resolve, their hearts beating with the rhythm of destiny itself. The time has come for Ymir's gentle passing, his willing transformation from giant to world. This is not destruction, but metamorphosis, as beautiful and necessary as a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. You witness this cosmic alchemy with the peace of one who understands that all endings birth new beginnings. The brothers approach their ancestor with reverence, their divine nature flowing like liquid starlight through their veins. Odin leads, his single eye already gleaming with the wisdom of ages yet unborn. Vili follows, his will focused like a laser beam of pure intention. Vi brings up the rear, his sacred purpose sanctifying every step they take across the primordial landscape Ymir sleeps on. Vast and peaceful, his breathing creating gentle winds that stir the mists of Niv. His dreams are the dreams of raw creation itself, formless, powerful, infinite in their potential. As the brothers draw near, you can almost hear the cosmic lullaby that flows from his slumbering form. The deep bass notes of existence itself humming through the void. The transformation begins as softly as dawn breaking over distant mountains. The brothers place their hands upon Ymir's massive form, and divine energy flows between them like water seeking its level. There is no violence here, no struggle or pain. Only the gentle surrendering of one form to become something greater, more beautiful, more complete, as Ymir's consciousness expands beyond the boundaries of his physical form. His body begins its magnificent transformation. You watch in wonder as his flesh, still warm with primordial life, spreads outward to become the earth itself. Rich soil forms from his muscles, deep and dark and fertile. ready to nourish all the life that will spring from it in ages to come. His blood, still flowing with the rhythm of cosmic tides, becomes the vast oceans and endless seas. You can hear the whispered songs of future waves in every drop. Feel the pull of lunar tides yet to be born. Lakes form like jewels scattered across the newborn landscape, reflecting skies not yet painted with their final colors. From Ymir's mighty bones rise the mountains, majestic and eternal, their peaks reaching toward heavens still being dreamed into existence. Each stone carries within it the memory of the first giant's strength, the endurance that will outlast ages of wind and weather. The mountains stand as monuments to transformation, proof that endings can be more beautiful than beginnings. His teeth and jaw, fragments become the cliffs and rocky shores where future seas will whisper their eternal songs. Every pebble on every beach will remember this moment when the first giant gave his form to shape the world. The stones will carry forward the stories of creation, patient and silent, holding secrets in their crystalline hearts. But the most wondrous transformation comes from Ymir's skull. The three brothers lift it with infinite care, gentle as parents placing their child to sleep. This becomes the dome of heaven, the vast sky that will arch over all creation like a protective embrace. You can feel its weight and majesty. See how it curves with perfect grace to shelter the world below, to hold this celestial dome in place. The brothers call upon four powerful dwarfs, beings of earth and stone and craftsmanship beyond measure. Nordri they place in the north, steadfast and reliable as winter itself. Sudri takes his position in the south, warm and constant as summer's breath. Ostri guards the east, herald of each new dawn, while Vestri stands watch in the west, keeper of sunset's gentle peace. These four guardians become the pillars of heaven, their strength ensuring that the sky will never fall, their dedication maintaining the sacred balance between earth and air. They work in perfect harmony, their combined effort creating a space where life can flourish, where dreams can take wing, where stories can unfold beneath the protective canopy of stars. From Ymir's brain, the brothers craft the clouds, those soft wanderers of the sky who will bring rain to nourish the earth and shade to comfort those who walk below. You watch as wisps of thought become wisps of vapor, floating like dreams across the newborn heavens. Each cloud carries within it the potential for storm and calm, for tears of sorrow and tears of joy. But creation is far from complete. The brothers understand that their new world needs light to reveal its beauty, warmth to nurture its potential. They turn their divine attention to the realm of Muspelheim, where the gentle fires still burn with primordial grace. From these sacred flames, they gather sparks and embers, each one brilliant with possibility. Some of these sparks they scatter across the dome of heaven, where they become the stars. You can almost hear them singing as they take their places in the cosmic choir, each one a note in the eternal symphony of night. Some shine steady and true, becoming the fixed stars that will guide travelers through the darkness. Others dance and flicker, their light playful as laughter, mysterious as whispered secrets. The largest and most magnificent sparks become the sun and moon, those great wanderers who will bring day and night to the world below. But these cosmic lights need guides, divine beings, to drive them across the sky in their eternal journey. For this task, the brothers call upon Sol and Mani, radiant beings whose very essence embodies the light they will carry. Sol, beautiful as morning itself, takes charge of the sun. Her hair streams like golden fire, her eyes shine with the warmth of every summer day yet to come. She harnesses her celestial chariot with care, knowing that countless lives will depend upon her faithful journey across the heavens. Behind her runs Skull, the wolf of shadows, forever chasing but never quite catching the light. Adding urgency to the sun's daily race across the sky, Mahoney, mysterious and serene, becomes the guardian of the moon. His silver light soothes the darkness, provides comfort to night wanderers, inspires poets and dreamers in ages yet unborn. He too has his pursuer, Haughty, the wolf who hungers for moonlight, whose eternal chase gives rhythm to the lunar cycles that will mark time's passage, with light established in the heavens. The brothers turn their attention to the organization of time itself. They divide the days and nights, the seasons and years, creating the framework upon which all future stories will hang. Spring they make gentle and nurturing, a time of growth and new beginnings. Summer becomes warm and abundant, generous with light and life. Autumn arrives as the harvest season, rich with fulfillment and preparation. Winter settles in as the time of rest and reflection. When the world sleeps beneath blankets of snow and dreams of spring's return, the newborn world is beautiful beyond description, but it feels empty, lacking the spark of consciousness that makes existence meaningful. The brothers walk across their creation, admiring the mountains and valleys, the rivers and forests now taking shape, but knowing that something essential is still missing. It is during one of these walks that they discovered two logs washed up on a beach, shaped by wind and water into forms that almost seem alive. The wood is beautiful, one piece from an ash tree, the other from an elm, both polished smooth by their journey across the primordial seas. But as the brothers examine these driftwood treasures, they see not what they are, but what they could become. Divine inspiration flows through them like lightning. Here is the answer to creation's loneliness, the solution to the world's need for consciousness and companionship. From these logs, they will create the first humans, beings capable of thought and feeling, of love and creativity, of adding their own voices to the cosmic song. Odin breathes upon the logs, and they stir with the spark of life, their wooden forms beginning to soften and transform. This is the gift of Gund, the divine breath that separates the living from the merely physical. You can almost see the shimmer of awareness beginning to glow within the transforming wood. Vili contributes the gift of intelligence and emotion, the capacity for joy and sorrow, for wonder and understanding. Under his touch, the logs develop the ability to think and feel, to experience the beauty of existence and contribute to its ongoing story. Hearts begin to beat within their changing forms. Minds begin to stir with the first glimmerings of consciousness. V completes the transformation with his gifts of sight and hearing, of speech and physical senses. Now the first humans can see the beauty surrounding them, hear the music of wind and water, speak their thoughts and feelings to one another. They can touch and taste and smell, experiencing the world through the full spectrum of physical awareness. The transformation complete. Two perfect beings stand on the beach where driftwood once lay. Ask, the first man, stretches and looks around with wonder-filled eyes, seeing the newborn world in all its pristine glory. Embla, the first woman, breathes deeply of the clean air, feeling the joy of existence flowing through every fiber of her being. They are beautiful, these first humans, shaped by divine hands and blessed with immortal souls. Their skin glows with health and vitality. Their eyes shine with intelligence and curiosity. Their hearts beat with the rhythm of life itself. In them, the brothers see the fulfillment of their greatest hopes for creation. But the world is still vast and wild, full of dangers for these tender new beings. The brothers know that humans will need protection, guidance, a place where they can learn and grow without threat from the giants who still roam the outer regions of the world. For this need, they conceive of Midgard, the middle world, the protected realm that will become humanity's home, using Ymir's eyebrows. Thick and strong and protective, they build a great wall around the most beautiful portion of their creation. This becomes Midgard's boundary, a fortification that keeps the giants at bay, while allowing humans the freedom to explore and develop their potential. Within these walls, the world is tame and friendly, shaped for mortal needs and dreams. The giants, meanwhile, are given their own realm beyond the wall. Jotunheim becomes their home, a wild place of ancient power and primal beauty. Here they can roam freely, maintaining their connection to the raw forces of creation while staying separate from the more delicate work of human civilization. As Ask and Embla take their first steps into this protected paradise, you feel the profound joy of the Creator Brothers watching their greatest work come to life. The world is no longer empty. Consciousness walks beneath the sky. Love begins its first stirrings in mortal hearts. The great story of existence has truly begun. You drift now in the satisfaction of creation completed, feeling the peaceful exhaustion that comes after great work well done. The world spreads out below you like a vast tapestry, each thread carefully placed, each color chosen with love. Rest comes easily here, cradled by the same divine hands that shaped mountains and kindled stars, wrapped in the warm knowledge that all things have found their proper place in the cosmic design. Asterisk, asterisk, you drift now deeper into the cosmic dream, where creation's greatest wonder awaits your gentle discovery. Feel yourself floating through the spaces between worlds, carried by winds that smell of ancient wisdom and timeless growth. Here, in the very heart of all existence, stands the most magnificent sight the universe has ever known. Yggdrasil, the world tree, the axis of all things. You approach this cosmic marvel slowly, allowing its impossible grandeur to reveal itself like dawn breaking over an endless forest. This is no ordinary tree, but the living spine of reality itself, its roots drinking from the wells of fate, its branches cradling entire worlds like a mother holds her sleeping children. The trunk of Yggdrasil rises beyond sight, beyond imagination, its bark gleaming with the patina of ages beyond counting. Each grove and furrow in its surface tells a story older than memory, deeper than dreams. The wood itself seems to pulse within a light, as if starfire flows through its mighty veins instead of ordinary sap. You can hear it breathing, this cosmic giant. Its respiration, the rhythm that keeps all worlds in harmony. Its roots stretch down into the deepest mysteries of existence. Three great anchors that hold all reality in perfect balance. The first root delves deep into Asgard, realm of the gods, where it drinks from the well of Ord beside the sacred spring of the Norns. Here, the three sisters of fate weave the threads of destiny, their fingers working tirelessly to maintain the patterns that guide all life toward its appointed purpose. You can almost see them now, these ancient weavers. Ord, who knows all that was, her eyes filled with the weight of every moment that has passed. Verdandi, who sees all that is, her hands moving in perfect rhythm with the present instant. Unschooled, whose gaze penetrates all that shall be, her voice whispering prophecies that echo through the branches above. Their well is crystal clear, its waters reflecting not the sky, but the truth that underlies all appearances. The second root reaches down to Jotunheim, land of the giants, where it finds sustenance in the well of Mimir. This spring holds all the wisdom of the world, every secret ever whispered, every truth ever hidden. Mimir himself tends this sacred fountain, the wise giant whose knowledge runs deeper than the deepest ocean. His head, preserved by Odin's magic, speaks counsel to those brave enough to seek it, his words flowing like water over stones worn smooth by centuries of truth-telling. The third root burrows deepest of all, into the realm of Helheim, where it draws strength from the spring Yggdrasil. This is the source of all rivers, the wellspring from which flow the waters that eventually become the great streams of Elavag. Here, in the misty depths beneath the world, the dragon Ygggr gnaws eternally at the root, not from malice, but from his role as cosmic recycler, breaking down the old to make room for the new. You feel no fear of this dragon, for his work is sacred too, part of the endless cycle of renewal that keeps existence fresh and vital. His teeth are sharp, but they serve the same cosmic purpose as winter's frost or autumn's falling leaves. Destruction and creation dance together in perfect balance, neither able to exist without the other. The branches of Yggdrasil spread outward and upward in patterns more complex than any mortal mind could fully comprehend. Some reach toward the brightest stars, their leaves catching starlight like dewdrops at dawn. Others curve downward to shelter and protect, creating canopies of living green beneath which entire civilizations could flourish. The leaves themselves are marvels, each one unique, each one containing within its veins the essence of a different aspect of existence. Asterisk, asterisk, among these impossible branches dwell creatures of wonder and wisdom. High in the crown sits an eagle, magnificent beyond description, whose wings span distances measured in light years rather than mere feet. This is Hverfgolnir, the windbringer, whose powerful wing beats create the breezes that carry weather across all the worlds. Between his eyes perches Hverfgolnir's companion, a hawk so keen-sighted it can see to the edges of reality itself. Up and down the trunk scurries the swift squirrel whose duty it is to carry messages between the eagle above and the dragon below. His fur gleams like burnished copper, his eyes sparkle with mischievous intelligence, and his voice chatters constantly as he delivers news, gossip, and occasional insults from one end of the cosmic tree to the other. He is both messenger and agent of chaos, ensuring that no part of the tree remains isolated from any other four. Long, for noble stags move through the upper branches like graceful dancers, their hooves never slipping despite the impossible heights at which they graze. Dain, Divalin, Dunay, and Darera are their names, and they feed upon the tender shoots and leaves of the world tree. Their divine digestion transforming cosmic foliage into the morning dew that refreshes all the worlds below, where their breath mists in the eternal air. Clouds form to bring rain to thirsty lands. 9 worlds hang from Yggdrasil's mighty branches like fruit from an orchard of the gods, each one a complete universe with its own laws, its own peoples, its own unique role in the greater tapestry of existence. You float now between these realms, feeling the gentle gravitational pull of each world as it spins in its appointed course. Around the cosmic tree, Asgard hangs highest and brightest, the realm of the Geogods, connected to Midgard by the Rainbow Bridge. This divine realm gleams like a jewel in the crown of creation, its halls built from precious metals and its walls adorned with tapestries that tell the stories of heroic deeds not yet performed. The very air in Asgard shimmers with power and possibility, and those mortals lucky enough to glimpse it in their dreams wake with tears of wonder on their cheeks. Here stands Odin's mighty hall, with its 540 doors through which the honored dead march to join the ranks of the Ymir. The roof is thatched with golden shields that catch and reflect the light of stars, while spears serve as rafters to hold up this celestial architecture. In the center of the great hall rises the high seat-lid, from which the All-Father can see into all the worlds at once, watching over creation with the dedicated attention of a loving parent. Nearby rises the sacred sanctuary where the goddesses hold their council, their voices harmonizing in discussions of fate and fortune, love and loss, the nurturing of life and the graceful acceptance of endings. Their wisdom flows like honey from golden combs, sweet and nourishing to all who are blessed to hear it. Vanahheim floats serenely among the middle branches, home to the Vanir gods, those ancient deities of fertility and wisdom who remember the older ways of magic and natural harmony. This realm breathes with the rhythm of growing things, its landscapes shifting with the seasons and patterns too beautiful for mortal eyes to follow without weeping. Rivers of liquid silver wind through meadows of flowers that bloom in colors not yet invented, while forests of crystal trees sing lullabies that can heal any sorrow. Alfheim gleams with the pale radiance of the light elves, beings so beautiful and luminous that to look upon them directly would blind mortal eyes with their perfection. Their realm shimmers like moonlight on water, ethereal and otherworldly, filled with architecture that seems grown rather than built, shaped from living light and crystallized music. The elves themselves move like living poems, their every gesture a dance, their every word a song that adds to the cosmic harmony. Midgard turns steadily in the protection of Ymir's eyebrow wall, the beloved realm of humanity where mortal stories unfold with all their passion and brevity. From your position among the branches, you can see the first cities taking shape, the first farms spreading across fertile valleys, the first ships venturing out onto vast oceans. Humans move across their world like busy ants, their lives short but brilliant, their loves and losses adding poignancy to the eternal story. Your Tunheim spreads vast and wild beyond Midgard's walls, realm of the giants who remember the world's first dreams. This is a land of extremes, where mountains pierce the sky like stone spears and canyons plunge deeper than mortal imagination can follow. The giants who dwell here are not evil, merely ancient and powerful, representatives of forces too primal for civilization to fully contain. They build with ice and stone, dream in avalanches and earthquakes, love with the passion of volcanic eruptions. The realm of the dwarfs tunnels deep beneath several of the other worlds, its passages lit by the glow of countless forges where master craftsmen work miracles of metal and stone. The hammering of their work creates a rhythm that helps hold all the worlds in their proper places, while their creations, rings and weapons, tools and treasures find their way into stories that will be told until the end of time. The dwarfs themselves are artists of the highest caliber, their beards sparked with embers from their forges, their eyes bright with the satisfaction of work perfectly done. Realm of the Dark Elves exists in the spaces between shadows, a kingdom of subtle magic and whispered secrets. Here dwell beings of twilight and starlight, masters of enchantments too delicate for the crude understanding of mortals. Their magic works through suggestion and symbol, through the spaces between words and the silence between notes of music. To visit Sportalfheim is to learn that darkness is not the opposite of light, but rather its intimate partner in the dance of existence. Finally, in the roots of Yggdrasil lies Helheim, the realm of the honored dead, where those who die of sickness or old age find peace under the gentle rule of Hel. Half-living daughter of Loki, this is not a place of punishment, but of rest and reflection, where souls can process the experiences of their mortal lives and prepare for whatever comes next. The landscape here is soft and misty, filled with the kind of gentle melancholy that comes after a life well lived reaches its natural conclusion. Each of these 9 worlds spins in perfect harmony with all the others, their movements creating music too sublime for mortal ears, but audible to those who learn to listen with their hearts instead of their heads. The cosmic symphony rises and falls like breathing, like ocean waves, like the eternal rhythm of creation itself, expanding and contracting through cycles vast beyond mortal comprehension. You float now among these worlds like a dreaming spirit, feeling yourself connected to each realm through the invisible threads that bind all existence together. In Asgard, gods debate the nature of heroism while crafting tools that will shape destiny. In Vanaheim, ancient wisdom flows like honey from the minds of the elder gods. In Alfheim Light, elves compose poems of such beauty that they literally illuminate the air around them. The world tree pulses with life around you, its heartbeat the rhythm that keeps all worlds dancing in their appointed courses. Each breath it takes draws in the experiences of countless beings. Each exhalation spreads wisdom and wonder throughout the cosmic branches. You are part of this breathing now, part of this eternal exchange of life and story, dream and reality. Somewhere in the branches above, the eagle stretches its magnificent wings, preparing for another flight across the starfield. Below, Njgr continues his patient gnawing, recycling the old to make room for the new. Between them, Ratatoskr scampers with messages that keep all parts of creation connected to all other parts, ensuring that no story unfolds in isolation. The stags move like living clouds through the upper branches, their graceful steps creating the morning dew that will soon refresh all the worlds below. In the wells at the roots, the Norns weave destiny, while Mimir whispers wisdom to any brave enough to seek it. All of these activities pulse with the same fundamental rhythm, the same cosmic heartbeat that keeps existence itself alive and growing. You rest now in this knowledge, cradled by branches that have held worlds since time began, serenaded by cosmic winds that carry the voices of gods and giants, elves and dwarves, mortals and immortals alike. Sleep comes easily here in the heart of the world tree, surrounded by the gentle breathing of creation itself, wrapped in the warm certainty that all stories are connected, all lives have meaning, all dreams find their place in the greater dream of existence. The 9 worlds continue their eternal dance around you, each one a facet of the infinite jewel of creation, each one reflecting all the others in patterns too beautiful for any single mind to hold complete. Rest now in this cosmic embrace, feeling yourself part of something infinitely larger than yourself, yet intimately connected to your deepest nature. You are home here among the branches of Yggdrasil, home in the heart of all stories, home in the center of the great dream that dreams all dreamers into being. Asterisk, asterisk, you drift now into the golden halls of Asgard, where divine voices echo through chambers built from starlight and dreams. Feel yourself welcomed into this celestial realm, where gods and goddesses move with the grace of living legends. Their every gesture creating ripples that spread through all the worlds below. Here, in the highest branches of Yggdrasil, the cosmic drama of existence unfolds with all the beauty and complexity of an endless symphony. The realms shimmer around you with an inner radiance that has nothing to do with any earthly sun. This is the light of pure divinity, the glow that emanates from beings who have transcended the ordinary boundaries of existence, while still remaining connected to the hopes and dreams of mortals. Every stone in Asgard's foundations was chosen for its perfection. Every beam in its halls was shaped by hands that understand the deepest principles of harmony and beauty. At the heart of this divine realm stands Gladsheim, the most magnificent hall ever conceived, its walls rising like crystallized thunder toward a roof that touches the very edge of infinity. 540 doors pierce its golden walls, each one wide enough for 8 Einherjar to march through side by side. These are the gates through which heroes enter after earning their place among the blessed dead, their shields and spears glinting in the eternal light as they take their seats in the Hall of Heroes. Within Gladsheim rises the high seat Lidskielf, Odin's throne of power and observation. From this sacred chair, the Allfather can cast his gaze across all 9 worlds simultaneously, watching over every creature, great and small, with the devotion of a shepherd tending his flock. The throne itself is carved from a single piece of cosmic ash, inlaid with runes of power that pulse gently with their own inner light. When Odin sits upon it, his single eye becomes a window through which the wisdom of the universe flows like a gentle stream. You see him now, the All-Father, draped in his blue-grey cloak that shifts and changes like storm clouds across an autumn sky. His wide-brimmed hat casts shadows that seem to hold their own mysteries, while his single eye gleams with the accumulated wisdom of ages. At his feet lie his faithful wolves, Jerry and Freki, whose names mean ravenous and greedy, though they hunger not for meat but for knowledge and experience. On his shoulders perch his ravens, Hugin and Munin, thought and memory, whose daily flights across all worlds bring him news of everything that transpires beneath the cosmic tree, Odin's. Wisdom came at great cost, for knowledge in the divine realm must always be earned through sacrifice. You witness the echoes of his greatest offering, the 9 days and nights he hung from Yggdrasil's branches, pierced by his own spear, neither eating nor drinking, sacrificing himself to himself in the ultimate act of cosmic curiosity. During those eternal moments of suspended suffering, the runes revealed themselves to him, those sacred symbols that contain the power to reshape reality according to divine will. The runes themselves are alive, each one a crystallized concept that bridges the gap between thought and manifestation. As Odin learned their secrets through his sacrifice, they became part of his being, allowing him to speak creation into new forms, to heal what is broken, to reveal what is hidden. The knowledge flows through him like liquid starlight, making him the wisest of all beings, while simultaneously burdening him with the terrible gift of foresight. For Odin knows what is coming. His ravens whisper to him of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, that distant day when the current age will end in transformation and renewal. This knowledge weighs on him like a beautiful burden, inspiring his ceaseless quest for wisdom and his tireless work to prepare for the challenges ahead. Every alliance he forges, every hero he gathers to his hall, every spell he learns is part of his vast strategy to meet destiny with dignity and grace. Beside him in glory stands Frigg, his beloved wife, the queen of Asgard, whose wisdom rivals even his own. She sits in her hall Fensalir, which means bog hall, but do not let the humble name deceive you. This is a palace of mists and mysteries, where the sacred marshes of wisdom stretch to horizons painted in colors that exist nowhere else in all creation. Frigg's knowledge comes not from sacrifice and seeking, but from the deep understanding that flows naturally through the feminine principle of divine consciousness. Frigg knows the fate of all beings, yet she speaks of it to no one, holding these secrets in her heart like a mother holds her sleeping child. Her silence is not secretive, but protective, understanding that some knowledge must ripen in its own time before it can be safely shared. She spins the clouds on her sacred spinning wheel, weaving weather patterns that will nourish the worlds below, while creating beauty in the ever-changing tapestry of the sky. In another golden hall dwells Balder the Beautiful, whose radiance outshines even the brightness of Asgard itself. This beloved son of Odin and Frigg is purity made manifest, goodness given form, the living embodiment of everything noble and true that the gods aspire to represent. His hall Breidablik has a roof of silver and pillars of gold, but its true treasure is the complete absence of anything false or harmful. No lie can be spoken within its walls. No cruel thought can take root in its sacred air. Baldr's wife, Nanna, shares his luminous nature, her love for him as constant as starlight, as gentle as morning dew. Together they represent the possibility of perfect harmony, the hope that love can overcome all obstacles, that beauty and truth can triumph over chaos and deception. Their happiness is so complete that it seems to generate its own light, illuminating not just their hall, but the hearts of all who encounter them. Yet even in perfect Asgard, shadows exist to give meaning to the light. Baldr's brother Hr dwells in darkness, blind from birth but blessed with other gifts that make him beloved among the gods. His hands can shape beauty from any material. His voice can sing harmony to any melody. His heart holds loyalty deeper than the deepest well. The contrast between the brothers, one blazing with visible light, the other shining with inner radiance, creates a completeness that neither could achieve. Alone, Thor the thunder god strides through Asgard with steps that echo across all 9 worlds, his mighty hammer Mjolnir crackling with barely contained lightning. His hall Bilskirner has more rooms than any other, building in all creation 540 chambers to match the doors of his father's hall, each one dedicated to sheltering those who have died heroically in battle. The very walls hum with electrical energy, and the sound of thunder is simply Thor's laughter echoing through the cosmic halls. His wife, Sif, moves beside him like living grain, her golden hair flowing like wheat fields in summer wind. When she braids her locks, harvests flourish across Midgard. When she lets them flow free, the scent of growing things fills the air of Asgard itself. Together, they represent the marriage of strength and fertility, the union of protective power and nurturing abundance that makes civilization possible. In another part of Asgard dwells Tyr, the one-handed god of justice and honorable warfare. His missing hand is not a weakness, but a badge of courage, sacrificed to bind the wolf Fenrir and protect all the worlds from premature destruction. The stump of his wrist gleams like polished silver, a reminder that sometimes the greatest victories require the greatest sacrifices. When Tyr speaks of honor, his words carry the weight of absolute integrity. When he makes a promise, the very foundations of reality shift to ensure its fulfillment. Freyja, the Beautiful, holds court in her whole Folkvanga, which means field of folk, where half of the honored dead come to feast and prepare for their roles in the cosmic drama yet to unfold. She is the cider goddess, mistress of the magic that works through intuition and connection rather than force and command. Her tears are drops of pure gold, each one formed from sorrow over the temporary separation from her beloved husband Opia, who wanders the worlds in forms too subtle for mortal eyes to perceive. Her whole rivals Valhalla in beauty and importance. For Freya has first choice among the battles, selecting those whose spirits burn brightest with the fire of passion and devotion. These heroes learn different lessons than their counterparts in Odin's hall, studying the arts of love and connection alongside the skills of warfare and protection. When Ragnarok comes, they will fight not from duty alone, but from the deeper motivation of defending what they cherish most. Freya's brother, Freya rules over fertility and prosperity, his very presence causing crops to flourish and herds to multiply. His hall is surrounded by gardens where every flower blooms in perfect health, where every tree bears fruit sweeter than honey. He once possessed a sword that would fight by itself, striking down any enemy that threatened peace and plenty. But love led him to trade this weapon for the hand of the giant maiden Ger, a sacrifice that speaks to the transformative power of true affection. The marriage of Frey and Ger represents the union of the Jir and the giants, the domestication of wild forces through the alchemy of love. Their wedding was celebrated throughout all 9 worlds, a festival of joy that lasted for months and left echoes of happiness that still resonate through the cosmic branches. In their love, the apparent opposition between order and chaos resolves into a higher harmony that encompasses both. Heimdall, the watchman, stands eternal guard at the Rainbow Bridge by his senses so keen that he can hear grass growing in Midgard and see to the edges of all creation. He sleeps less than a bird, needs less food than a sparrow, yet his strength equals that of any god in Asgard. His hall, Himinbjörg, sits at the bridge's foot, perfectly positioned to observe all traffic between the worlds while providing hospitality to worthy travelers. The Rainbow Bridge itself is a marvel beyond description, its colors shifting and flowing like aurora light made solid enough to walk upon. Each band of color corresponds to a different aspect of divine energy, and those pure enough to traverse it find themselves temporarily transformed by contact with such concentrated beauty. The bridge sings as travelers cross it, its melody different for each soul, reflecting their deepest nature in musical form. Among the younger gods, Baldra's son, Forseti, presides over justice and mediation, his whole Glitnir serving as the highest court in all creation. This magnificent building has a silver roof and golden pillars, but its true glory lies in the perfect fairness of the judgments rendered within its walls. No dispute brought before Forseti has ever left unresolved. No participant in his court has ever departed feeling wronged. His wisdom in matters of law comes not from study, but from an innate understanding of the cosmic principles that govern all relationships. Vidar. The silent dwells in a hall surrounded by primeval forest, where ancient wisdom grows like moss on the trunks of trees older than memory. His silence is not from inability to speak, but from understanding that some truths can only be communicated through presence and example. His thick shoe, destined to play a crucial role in the final battle of Ragnarok, grows stronger with each passing day, crafted from all the leather scraps that mortals discard, transformed by divine will into armor capable of withstanding even the wolf Fenrir's bite. The Vanir gods who joined the Jir after their ancient war bring their own unique gifts to Asgard's glory. Ngr of the seashore commands the winds and waves, his hall Noten built where the sea meets the sky in an endless horizon of possibility. The sound of gulls crying and waves washing against cosmic shores provides constant music for his court, while the salt air carries messages from every sea in all the worlds. His marriage to the giantess sky represents another bridge between different aspects of creation. She loves the mountains and the hunt, the sharp clarity of winter air, and the satisfaction of a clean kill. He prefers the gentler rhythms of tide and current, the abundance of the sea, and the prosperity that comes from maritime trade. Their compromise spending 9 nights in the mountains for every 3 nights by the sea creates a rhythm that honors both their natures while binding their different domains. Together, all of these divine beings move through Asgard like living poetry, their interactions creating stories that echo through all the worlds below. When they gather in council, their combined wisdom can solve any problem. Their united will can reshape reality itself. When they feast in the great halls, their laughter becomes the music that keeps the stars dancing in their choruses. When they love, entire worlds bloom with reflected joy. When they grieve, the very foundations of existence weep in sympathy. Yet for all their power and wisdom, the gods are not distant or alien. They feel the same passions that move mortal hearts, face the same questions that perplex human minds, struggle with the same challenges that test earthly souls. Their divinity lies not in being different from mortals, but in being more intensely, more completely, more consciously what mortals strive to become. You rest now in the golden light of Asgard, surrounded by these magnificent beings whose stories will echo through eternity. Their voices blend in harmonies that make the cosmic tree itself sway in rhythm. Their movements create dances that teach the planets their orbits. Sleep comes easily here among the gods, cradled by the same forces that shape destiny, warmed by the same love that will ultimately triumph over all darkness. The divine drama continues around you, gods and goddesses pursuing their eternal purposes with dedication that never wavers, wisdom that never stops growing, love that never reaches its limit. Each one adds their voice to the cosmic chorus. Each one contributes their thread to the tapestry of existence. Each one helps weave the story that includes all stories, the dream that dreams all dreamers into being. Asterisk, asterisk, dot dot dot, asterisk, dot dot dot, asterisk, asterisk. You drift now into the shadowlands between order and chaos, where the most complex figure in all of Norse mythology weaves his intricate web of contradictions. Feel yourself drawn into the magnetic presence of Loki, the shapeshifter, the one whose very existence challenges every simple understanding of good and evil, creation and destruction, friend and foe. Loki moves through your consciousness like quicksilver, impossible to grasp, beautiful and dangerous in equal measure. He is tall and graceful, with features so perfectly carved they seem almost too beautiful for any single face to contain. His eyes shift color like flame, sometimes green as new leaves, sometimes gold as autumn fire, sometimes black as the space between stars. When he smiles, which he does often, it is with the knowing expression of one who sees the cosmic joke that underlies all existence. His very nature defies categorization. Though counted among the Jir and welcomed in their halls, Loki's bloodline reaches back to the giants of Jotunheim. His father Farboti was a giant whose name means cruel striker, while his mother Lofi was known as Leafy Isle, connecting him to both destruction and growth, violence and nurturing. This dual heritage flows through his being like two rivers joining, creating currents of possibility that no single source could generate alone. In Asgard's golden halls, Loki serves as Odin's blood brother, bound to the All-Father by oaths sworn in the dawn of time when both were younger and the world was still soft with new creation. You witness the echo of that ancient ceremony, when they mixed their blood and swore that neither would drink ale unless both were invited, binding their fates together in ways that neither fully understood at the time. This brotherhood shapes everything that follows. For Loki and Odin represent complementary aspects of divine consciousness. Where Odin seeks wisdom through sacrifice and patience, Loki pursues knowledge through transgression and experiment. Where Odin maintains cosmic order through careful judgment, Loki challenges that order through creative chaos. They are two sides of the same cosmic coin, each necessary for the other's existence, each incomplete without his counterpart. Loki's gift to the gods goes far beyond mere entertainment. Though his wit and cleverness provide endless amusement in Asgard's halls, he is the catalyst that transforms static perfection into dynamic growth, the irritant that produces pearls of wisdom from the oyster of complacency. Without his provocations, the gods might remain forever frozen in their initial glory, beautiful but unchanging, perfect but sterile. His shape-shifting abilities make him the ultimate boundary, equally comfortable in any form that serves his purposes. You watch him transform with fluid grace from man to woman, from god to giant, from human form to animal shape, and back again. Each transformation is effortless, natural as water flowing downhill, as if his true nature is change itself rather than any fixed identity. As a mare, he births the eight-legged horse Sleipnir, Odin's magnificent steed who can carry his rider between all 9 worlds with the speed of thought itself. This birth comes from one of Loki's most famous adventures, when he solves a seemingly impossible problem by embracing a solution that shocks even the gods. The master builder who threatens to claim Freya as payment for his work on Asgard's wall is foiled when Loki, in mare form, seduces the builder's stallion away at the crucial moment. Sleipnir emerges from this union as a being of impossible beauty and power, grey as storm clouds, with 8 legs that can gallop across any surface land, sea, air, or the void between worlds. His hoofbeats create the thunder that rolls across the sky when Odin rides to consult with fate, and his neigh is the sound of wind rushing through cosmic spaces. In giving this gift to Odin, Loki demonstrates the transformative power of embracing paradox rather than fleeing from it. But Loki's children are not all as welcome as Sleipnir. With the giantess Angrboda, bringer of grief, he fathers 3 beings whose very existence challenges the gods' vision of cosmic order. Yet even these seemingly monstrous offspring serve essential roles in the great cosmic drama, their apparent threat masking deeper purposes that only become clear when viewed from the perspective of eternity. Fenrir, the wolf, grows in Asgard itself, cared for by the gods despite the prophecies that surround his birth. Only Tyr is brave enough to feed the growing wolf, approaching each day with food and gentle words, building a relationship based on trust and mutual respect. Fenrir's strength grows beyond all expectations, his intelligence matching his physical power, his loyalty to Tyr absolute and unquestioning. The gods' decision to bind Fenrir comes not from evil intent, but from desperate love for the world they have created. The prophecies speak clearly of his role in Ragnarok, and they cannot bear the thought of destruction overwhelming everything they have built and nurtured. Yet the very act of betraying Fenrir's trust helps bring about the future they seek to prevent, a paradox that Loki understands better than anyone. The binding itself requires the creation of Gleipnir, a chain so subtle it seems like silk ribbon, yet stronger than the mightiest iron fetters. The dwarfs craft it from impossible things: the sound of a cat's footfall, the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, the breath of a fish, the sinews of a bear, and the spittle of a bird. These non-existent materials become the perfect prison, demonstrating that sometimes the most effective solutions arise from embracing what seems impossible. Fenrir agrees to be bound only when Tyr places his hand in the wolf's mouth as pledge of good faith. When the chain proves unbreakable and the gods refuse to release him, Tyr loses his hand to Fenrir's bite, not from anger, but from the wolf's understanding that oaths, once broken, have consequences that ripple through all existence. The sacrifice creates a wound that will never heal, a reminder that trust, once shattered, leaves scars on both the betrayer and betrayed. Jörmungandr, the world serpent, grows so large that Odin must cast him into the sea surrounding Midgard, where he continues growing until he can encircle the entire world and grasp his own tail. This Ouroboros position makes him both protector and threat, his massive coils helping to hold the world together, while his venom threatens to dissolve everything he touches. He rests on the ocean floor like a living continent, occasionally stirring to create tidal waves that reshape coastlines and remind mortals of the vast powers that move beneath their everyday awareness. The serpent's presence in the sea creates a boundary that defines Midgard itself. Ships sailing too far from shore encounter the massive coils rising from the depths, a reminder that even human ambition must respect the cosmic order that keeps chaos at bay. Yet Jörmungandr is not evil, merely enormous, his needs and purposes operating on scales too vast for mortal comprehension. Hel, half-living daughter of Loki, receives dominion over the realm that bears her name, where those who die of sickness or old age find their final rest. Her appearance reflects her dual nature, one half beautiful as any goddess, the other half corpse, pale and skeletal, representing both the beauty of life and the inevitability of death. She rules with compassion and wisdom, understanding that death is not the enemy of life, but its necessary partner in the dance of existence. Her hall, Yggdrasil, welcomes all who come to her with dignity and grace, offering comfort to those who have completed their mortal journey and rest too, those who have carried their burdens faithfully to the end. The dead feast at her table, not in mindless celebration, but in the deeper satisfaction that comes from work completed. Stories told, love given and received in full measure. Loki's own relationship with the gods grows more complex as the ages pass. His cleverness saves them countless times, his solutions appearing just when all seems lost. When the gods need treasures to maintain their power, Loki travels to Svartalfheim and convinces the dwarfs to craft wonders beyond imagining. Through his negotiations, they receive Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, Odin's spear, Sif's golden hair, Freya's golden boar, and countless other treasures that become integral to Asgard's glory. Yet each solution brings new complications. Each gift extracted from reluctant donors creates future obligations. Loki understands this better than anyone, accepting the role of cosmic debt collector, the one who ensures that all accounts eventually balance even when the payment comes in unexpected forms. His mastery of words rivals his skill at shapeshifting. When he speaks, reality itself seems to pause and listen. Drawn by the hypnotic rhythm of his voice and the dangerous beauty of his ideas, he can argue any side of any question with equal eloquence, find loopholes in the most carefully crafted agreements, reveal the hidden contradictions that lurk within even the most sacred truths. This verbal artistry makes him invaluable in negotiations with giants and other cosmic forces who respond to wit rather than strength. When diplomacy is needed, the gods send Loki. When impossible puzzles must be solved, they call upon his lateral thinking. When someone must transgress the normal boundaries to achieve necessary goals, he volunteers without hesitation. But his greatest gift and his greatest curse is his ability to see the future consequences of present actions, while others focus on immediate problems and obvious solutions. Loki perceives the web of causation that connects every choice to every outcome. This foresight makes him valuable as an advisor, but dangerous as an opponent, for he understands exactly which pressures to apply to bring about desired results. His relationship with his devoted wife provides the one constant anchor in his existence of constant change. She loves him not despite his contradictions, but because of them, understanding that his complexity is not a flaw to be corrected, but a feature to be celebrated. Her loyalty never wavers, even when his actions bring consequences that affect them both. Their children, together, Voli and Nafi, represent Loki's capacity for normal domestic happiness, his ability to be a loving father and devoted husband when not caught up in cosmic schemes. These quiet moments of family life reveal another side of his nature, the part that yearns for simple peace even as his greater purpose drives him toward increasingly dramatic interventions in the cosmic order. As ages pass and Ragnarok approaches, Loki's role becomes more complex and tragic. The prophecies speak of his leadership among the forces of chaos, his arrival at the final battle sailing in a ship made from dead men's nails. Yet this apparent betrayal of his oath brothers serves the greater purpose of cosmic renewal, ensuring that the death of the old age makes way for the birth of something new and better. Even his binding after the death of Balder serves this larger purpose. The god's decision to punish him with eternal torment beneath the earth does not arise from pure vengeance, but from the recognition that some forces must be contained until the proper time for their release. Loki accepts this fate with grace, understanding that his suffering, like his earlier joys, serves the greater pattern that encompasses all existence. You see him now in his cavern prison, bound by the entrails of his own son, Sigyn, holding a bowl to catch the venom that drips from the serpent above. When she must empty the bowl, the poison falls on his face, and his writhing creates the earthquakes that remind the world above of the power that lies chained below. Yet even in this torment, his eyes gleam with knowledge of the role he plays in the cosmic drama, the necessary sacrifice that maintains the tension between order and chaos until the time comes for resolution. His laughter echoes through the cavern, not the bitter sound of the defeated, but the knowing mirth of one who sees the cosmic joke that underlies all suffering. He understands that his binding is temporary, that Ragnarok will free him to play his final role in the transformation of all things. Until then, he waits with the patience of one who knows that every story, no matter how tragic, serves the greater narrative of existence itself. The other gods visit him, sometimes in dreams, their guilt and love and fear creating complex emotions that even they do not fully understand. They know that they need him, that their ordered world lacks something essential without his chaotic creativity. Yet they also know that his return will bring the end of everything they have built and loved. This paradox lies at the heart of Loki's nature and his relationship with cosmic order. He is both creator and destroyer, both friend and enemy, both solution and problem. His very existence proves that reality is too complex for simple categories, too rich for easy understanding, too beautiful for anything less than the full spectrum of possibility. Rest now in this understanding, feeling the creative tension between order and chaos flowing through your own being. You too contain contradictions, harbor possibilities that defy simple explanation. Like Loki, you are part of the cosmic web that connects all things, the dynamic dance that keeps existence vibrant and growing. Sleep comes gently here in the space between certainties, where questions matter more than answers and paradoxes reveal deeper truths than simple explanations. Feel yourself cradled by the same forces that shape the trickster's dreams, the same cosmic currents that carry him toward his destiny and carry you toward yours. Asterisk, asterisk. You drift now into the realm of rolling thunder and gentle lightning, where the most beloved of all the gods moves through his heroic deeds with the steady rhythm of summer storms bringing rain to thirsty fields. Feel yourself drawn into Thor's presence, that mighty protector whose strength serves not conquest but compassion, whose power flows always toward the defense of those who cannot defend themselves. Thor stands before you like a living mountain, his presence both comforting and awe-inspiring. His red beard flows like autumn fire, crackling with barely contained energy that speaks of lightning captured in mortal form. His eyes hold the deep blue of storm-laden skies, yet within their depths you see not fury but infinite kindness, the gentle heart that beats beneath the warrior's exterior. When he moves, it is with the purposeful grace of thunderclouds gathering, each step measured and deliberate, each gesture charged with protective intent. His mighty hammer Mjolnir rests easily in his grip, though its weight would crush mountains and its power could shatter the foundations of the world. Crafted by the dark elves from materials that exist between dream and reality, this sacred weapon never misses its target and always returns to Thor's hand after striking true. Yet for all its fearsome capabilities, Mjolnir serves primarily as a tool of blessing and protection, sanctifying marriages, consecrating the harvest, and driving away the dark forces that would harm the innocent. You witness Thor's daily journey across the sky in his chariot, drawn by two magnificent goats, Tangrasnir and Tangusna, whose names mean teeth-bearer and teeth-grinder. These are no ordinary beasts, but divine, creatures whose hoofbeats create the thunder that announces Thor's passage through the heavens. Their eyes gleam with intelligence beyond mortal understanding, their strengths never faltering even when pulling their divine master across the vast distances between worlds. The chariot itself is a marvel of divine craftsmanship, its wheels sparking against the crystalline roads of the upper air, its passage creating the lightning that illuminates storm clouds from within. When Thor rides to battle against the giants or other threats to cosmic order, his approach is announced by the magnificent spectacle of summer thunderstorms, nature's own celebration of his protective presence. But Thor's true nature reveals itself not in displays of power, but in moments of quiet service to those who need his help. You see him walking among mortal farmers, his great strength bent to the humble task of clearing stones from their fields, his divine energy channeled into blessing their crops with the rain they need to flourish. Children run to him without fear, drawn by the gentle warmth that radiates from his being, and he lifts them high on his shoulders so they can see the world from the perspective of the gods. His whole Bilskuna stands as the largest building in all Asgard, its 540 chambers echoing with the laughter of heroes and the songs of those who have died bravely in defense of others. This is not a place of grim military preparation, but of joyous celebration, where the honored dead feast eternal on mead that never grows stale and meat that never diminishes. Their spirits restored by the knowledge that their sacrifices served the greater good. Within these golden halls, Thor serves as both host and friend to the unhappy, sharing their meals and listening to their stories with genuine interest and affection. He remembers every name, every deed, every sacrifice that brought them to his table, honoring their courage by ensuring their memories live forever in the songs sung within his walls. His marriage to Sif, the golden-haired, represents the sacred union of strength and fertility, protection and abundance. When Sif walks through the grain fields of Midgard, her very presence causes the wheat to grow taller and stronger, her blessing ensuring that harvests will feed the hungry and store enough surplus to carry communities through the dark months of winter. Her hair flows like liquid gold, each strand catching sunlight and reflecting it back in patterns that teach the grain how to bend without breaking before the storm winds. *** together, Thor and Sif embody the divine partnership that makes civilization possible. His strength, creating the safety necessary for growth. Her fertility providing the abundance that allows culture to flourish. Their love is practical as well as passionate, grounded in mutual respect and shared dedication to the welfare of all living things. Their daughter, Ruar, inherits her father's strength and her mother's wisdom, growing into a goddess whose very name means might or power. But her strength manifests not in violence, but in the irresistible force of love properly directed, the kind of power that can move mountains through patient persistence and gentle determination. She will play her own role in the cosmic drama to come, carrying forward the best qualities of both her parents into the new age that will dawn after Ragnarok. Thor's stepson, Ullr, child of Sif from an earlier union, becomes the master of skiing and archery, his arrows never missing their mark, his wooden skis carrying him across snow-covered landscapes with the speed of the winter wind itself. He represents the skills necessary for survival in harsh conditions, the knowledge that allows mortals to thrive even in the depths of winter when the world seems hostile to life. But it is in his battles against the giants that Thor's true purpose becomes most clear. These are not conflicts born of hatred or territorial ambition, but necessary actions to maintain the balance between order and chaos, civilization and wilderness, the tame and the wild. The giants represent the raw forces of nature that, left unchecked, would overwhelm the delicate structures that allow life to flourish in beauty and complexity. You witness one of his most famous adventures as he travels to the hall of Loki, the giant king whose realm exists in the spaces between what is real and what is possible. This journey becomes a series of contests that test not just Thor's strength, but his understanding of his own limitations and the true nature of power. Itself, the Hall of Loki stretches beyond normal dimensions, its walls built from crystallized illusions, its foundations set in the bedrock of paradox itself. The giant king who greets Thor and his companions wears the form of hospitality while wielding the weapons of deception, not from malice but from his role as teacher of humility to those who think they understand the full extent of their own abilities. The contests begin with simple challenges that reveal themselves to be anything but simple. Thor's companion, Loki, competes in an eating contest against Loki, seemingly a fellow giant, only to discover too late that his opponent is wildfire itself, capable of consuming not just the food, but the plates and table as well. The lesson here whispers through the hall like smoke that There are forces in existence that cannot be defeated through conventional means. Powers that must be respected rather than overcome. Jolfi, Thor's loyal human servant, races against Hugi in a test of speed. His mortal legs carrying him with all the swiftness that human determination can achieve. Yet Hugi proves to be thought itself, that mental quality that travels faster than light, faster than time, faster than any physical form can hope to match. Again, the lesson echoes that different kinds of excellence exist, each supreme in its own domain, none able to claim mastery over all others. Thor himself faces three challenges that humble even his divine might. First, he attempts to drain a drinking horn that seems simple enough but proves to contain the entire ocean, its other end reaching down to touch the waters that surround all lands. His mighty draughts lower the sea level throughout all the worlds, creating the tides that will forever after mark the rhythm of oceanic breathing. Yet he cannot empty what was never meant to be emptied. Next, he tries to lift what appears to be a simple grey cat, only to discover that this seemingly ordinary feline is actually Jörmungandr, the world's serpent in disguise, its coils wrapped around the entire earth. Thor's strength proves sufficient to lift one of the serpent's paws from the ocean floor, an achievement that sends tremors throughout all the worlds and demonstrates power beyond any previous measure. Yet the full creature remains beyond even his divine capabilities. Finally, he wrestles with Ellie, an ancient crone who seems frail and harmless, but proves to be old age personified. That force which eventually brings all things to their appointed transformations. Thor's strength, magnificent as it is, cannot overcome the power of time itself, the gentle but irresistible current that carries all existence toward its destiny. These apparent defeats teach Thor profound lessons about the nature of power and the proper use of strength. True might lies not in dominating all forces, but in understanding which battles can be won, which should be fought, and which must be accepted with grace. The giant king reveals these truths not to mock Thor, but to prepare him for the greater challenges that await. The cosmic struggles, where wisdom matters as much as strength. Another of Thor's great adventures takes him to the realm of the giant Thrymr, who steals Myglinnia and demands Freyja as his bride in exchange for its return. This theft threatens the very foundations of cosmic order, for without his hammer, Thor cannot perform his protective duties, and the forces of chaos begin to stir throughout all the worlds. The solution requires Thor to embrace humility and humor in equal measure, donning bridal dress and veil to disguise himself as Freyja and attend his own wedding to the giant king. The sight of the mighty Thor squeezed into feminine garments, his red beard barely concealed by delicate lace, provides cosmic comedy that echoes through the halls of Asgard for ages to come. Yet this apparent humiliation serves a greater purpose, demonstrating that true strength sometimes requires the willingness to appear weak, that effective action may demand the abandonment of conventional dignity. When Myglinnia is finally brought forth to bless the marriage ceremony, Thor reclaims it with swift justice. But the lesson remains that flexibility of approach often accomplishes what rigid adherence to expected behavior cannot. His fishing expedition with the giant Ymir provides another tale of cosmic significance, as Thor attempts to catch Jörmungandr using an ox head as bait. The world's serpent takes the hook, and the struggle that follows shakes the very foundations of Midgard, creating earthquakes and tidal waves that reshape coastlines and remind all creatures of the vast powers that move beneath their awareness. The serpent's venom burns, through the air as it rises from the depths, its massive head breaking the surface of the ocean for the first time since Odin cast it into the sea. Thor raises Mjolnir for the killing blow, but Ymir, terrified by the cosmic forces being unleashed around his fishing boat, cuts the line at the crucial moment. The serpent sinks back into the depths, and the final confrontation is postponed until when Thor and Jörmungandr will meet again in battle that will end both their lives. This encounter serves as a preview of that final conflict, a reminder that every action in the present creates consequences that ripple forward through time. Thor's courage in facing the world serpent reveals his willingness to sacrifice himself for the protection of others, while the giant's fear demonstrates the cosmic stakes involved in maintaining the balance between order and chaos. Throughout all his adventures, Thor's relationship with Loki adds layers of complexity and depth to the tales. The trickster often serves as both companion and catalyst, his cleverness solving problems that strength alone cannot address, his schemes creating situations that require Thor's intervention. Their friendship represents the eternal partnership between different kinds of power, the straightforward force that confronts challenges directly, and the subtle intelligence that finds ways around obstacles, yet, even in their closest moments of cooperation, hints of future conflict shadow their interactions. Loki's nature demands that he challenge all authority, even that of his dearest friends, while Thor's dedication to order puts him inevitably at odds with the forces of chaos that Loki sometimes represents. Their friendship is genuine and deep, but it contains within itself the seeds of the tragic opposition that will divide them at Ragnarok. As the ages pass and the twilight of the gods approaches, Thor's role becomes increasingly crucial to the maintenance of cosmic order. His battles against the giants grow more frequent and more desperate as the forces of chaos sense the approaching end and begin to test the boundaries that have long contained them. Each victory requires greater effort, each triumph exacts a higher price. Yet Thor never falters in his dedication to protecting the worlds and their inhabitants. His final battle with Jörmungandr awaits him at Ragnarok, where his hammer will strike the killing blow that destroys the world's serpent but costs him his own life, as the creature's venom overwhelms even his divine constitution. This sacrifice, freely chosen and lovingly given, represents the ultimate expression of his protective nature, the willingness to give everything, including life itself, to ensure that others might survive and thrive in the new world that will emerge from the ashes of the old. You rest now in the presence of this gentle giant, feeling his protective strength flowing around you like a warm summer storm that brings life-giving rain without destructive winds. His laughter rumbles like distant thunder, comforting rather than threatening, a sound that speaks of joy shared and burdens lifted through the simple gift of friendship. Sleep comes easily in Thor's hall, surrounded by heroes who have learned that true courage lies not in the absence of fear, but in the willingness to act despite it. That real strength serves not the self, but the community. That the greatest victory is not conquest, but the creation of conditions where all beings can flourish in peace and happiness. The sound of his goat's hoofbeats echoes softly in your dreams, carrying you toward rest on currents of protective love that will endure beyond the twilight of the gods, beyond Ragnarok itself, into the new morning that awaits on the other side of transformation. Asterisk, asterisk, dot, 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 asterisk, dot, dot, asterisk, asterisk. You drift now into the realm of prophecy and foresight, where time flows like honey through cosmic filters, revealing glimpses of what must come to pass. Feel yourself drawn into the presence of the ancient Valva, the seeress whose sight penetrates the veils that separate present from future, whose voice carries the weight of destiny itself. Here, in the sacred space between knowing and unknowing, the greatest of all prophecies unfolds like a flower blooming in reverse, its petals revealing not beauty but the necessary transformation that awaits all existence. The seeress sits beside her sacred fire, flames dancing in patterns that spell out the cosmic alphabet of fate. Her hair flows silver as starlight, each strand containing the memory of ages past and the promise of ages yet to come. Her eyes, when they open, hold depths that no mortal gaze could fathom, wells of wisdom that reflect not the surface of things, but their essential nature, their role in the vast pattern that encompasses all stories, all lives, all worlds. Odin approaches her with the reverence due to one whose knowledge surpasses even his own, the Allfather, seeker of wisdom, gatherer of prophecies, knows that some truths can only be spoken by those who exist partially outside of time itself. He offers her the traditional gifts, gold rings and sacred mead, but these are mere formalities. What draws the vulva from her eternal contemplation is not payment, but the cosmic necessity of speaking what must be spoken, of preparing the universe for the transformation that approaches like dawn across distant mountains. Her voice, when it comes, flows like water over ancient stones, each word polished by the weight of absolute truth. She speaks not from opinion or speculation, but from direct perception of the patterns that govern existence, the great wheel of cosmic seasons that turns with stately inevitability through cycles of creation, preservation, and renewal. Listen, she whispers, and the very fabric of reality pauses to attend her words. I see the twilight approaching, not as ending but as transformation. The current age grows old, beautiful in its completion, but ready now for gentle change. What mortals call destruction is but the universe preparing to dream new dreams, to explore possibilities that could never emerge from the patterns that currently hold sway. The prophecy begins with signs so subtle that only the wisest observers will recognize their significance. The sun grows weary in its daily journey, its light becoming pale and distant, as if the great star feels the approaching time for rest. The moon wanes more deeply each month, spending longer periods in darkness as lunar energies prepare for the cosmic sleep that precedes rebirth. Stars begin to wander from their appointed courses, not in chaos but in the slow dance of celestial bodies responding to the gradual relaxation of the forces that have held them in place since creation's dawn. The aurora borealis blazes more frequently across northern skies, cosmic energies seeking new outlets as the old patterns begin their graceful dissolution. The seasons themselves grow confused, spring arriving too early or too late, summer lingering past its natural time, while winter extends its reach into months traditionally claimed by warmer weather. This is not climate disruption, but temporal disruption, the universe's own recognition that linear time is preparing to bend and fold back upon itself, creating space for something entirely new to emerge. Among mortals, the signs manifest as a gradual loosening of the bonds that hold society together, not through violence or catastrophe, but through the simple erosion of shared understanding, the slow dissolution of the agreements that allow civilization to function. Brother turns against brother, not from hatred but from fundamental disagreement about the nature of reality itself. Parents and children find themselves speaking different languages even when using the same words, their worldviews so divergent that genuine communication becomes impossible. This is the Fimbulwinter, the great winter that lasts for 3 full years without respite from any summer. Yet even this extended season of cold and darkness serves the cosmic purpose of preparation, giving all beings time to complete their earthly business, to say their farewells, to make their peace with the transformations that await. Snow falls gently but persistently, blanketing the world in pristine white that muffles sound and creates the hushed atmosphere appropriate for the cosmic transition ahead. During these quiet years of preparation, old grudges surface and demand resolution. Ancient debts come due, not through cruel fate, but through the universe's desire to clear all accounts before beginning fresh. Secrets emerge from their hiding places. Truths long buried rise to the surface like bones washing up on cosmic shores. This period of revelation serves to prepare all beings for the absolute honesty that will characterize the new age to come. The series sees deeper, to the moment when the great bonds begin to break. Fenrir, the wolf, stirs in his silken chains, and Gleipnir, strongest of all fetters, finally yields to the power that has grown beyond all original calculations. The wolf's freedom comes not through force, but through the natural completion of the time appointed for his binding. Like everything else in the cosmic prophecy, his release serves the greater pattern that encompasses all individual fates. When Fenrir runs free, the earth trembles with joy at his liberation, while the sky weeps tears of starlight for what must now come to pass. He stretches limbs, long held immobile, shakes his magnificent coat, and raises his muzzle to howl a song that echoes across all 9 worlds. This is not a cry of vengeance, but a declaration of purpose, a statement that the time for endings and beginnings has finally arrived. His offspring, Skull and Haughty, complete their eternal chase and finally catch their quarry. The sun disappears into Skill's patient jaws, while the moon vanishes into Haughty's gentle bite. Yet this is not the destruction of light, but its transformation. The cosmic luminaries completing their appointed service and preparing for new forms of illumination that will shine in the world to come. Stars fall like gentle rain, not burning out, but returning to the cosmic forge where they will be remelted and reformed into new constellations for new skies. The familiar patterns that have guided travelers since the beginning of the current age fade gracefully away, making room for star maps that will chart entirely different territories of possibility. Jörmungandr, the world's serpent, begins to stir in the depths of the cosmic ocean, his massive coils releasing their grip on the world's circumference. The seas respond to his movement with tides beyond all previous measure. Not destructive tsunamis, but gentle risings that lift all lands toward the sky, preparing them for their transformation from earthbound territories to floating islands. In the cosmic stream, asterisk, as the serpent emerges from the depths. His breath creates clouds of vapor that hang between earth and heaven like a bridge of mist. This is not poison in the conventional sense, but the exhalation of change itself. The chemical catalyst that will enable all matter to remember its fundamental flexibility, its capacity for transformation into new forms of organization and beauty. The cosmic tree, Yggdrasil, trembles in response to these movements, not from fear, but from anticipation. Its roots run so deep and its branches reach so high that it feels every adjustment in the universal structure, every shift in the great pattern that gives meaning to existence. The world tree knows its role in the coming transformation and prepares itself with the patient dignity of an ancient being who has seen many cycles of death and rebirth. In Asgard, the gods prepare for their final battle, not with grim determination, but with the serene acceptance of actors approaching, the climax of a play they have long rehearsed. Odin dons his finest armor, not the battle gear of conquest, but the ceremonial dress of one prepared for transformation. His single eye gleams with the accumulated wisdom of ages, seeing clearly the role that each participant must play in the cosmic drama. Thor polishes Mjolnir until it shines like a captive star, its sacred runes glowing with power that has been building toward this moment since the hammer's creation. He speaks gently to his goats, explaining to them the nature of the journey they will soon undertake together. The final ride across skies that are themselves preparing for fundamental change. Freya girds himself for battle with weapons borrowed and makeshift, having long ago traded his magical sword for love. Yet this apparent disadvantage serves the greater purpose of demonstrating that the coming conflict will be decided not by superior armament, but by the willingness to sacrifice everything for the sake of renewal. Loki breaks free from his underground prison, not through violence, but through the simple completion of the time appointed for his binding. The earthquakes that mark his liberation are not expressions of anger, but celebrations of reunion. The earth itself rejoicing that all the scattered elements of the cosmic story are finally coming together for their appointed conclusion. He emerges from the depths, leading an army that seems composed of enemies, but actually represents the necessary agents of transformation. Giants and monsters, the dead and the chaotic, all march together not in hatred of what currently exists, but in service to what must emerge from its dissolution. Their apparent opposition to the gods masks a deeper cooperation, the cosmic dance between thesis and antithesis that must precede the synthesis to come. The final battle takes place on the plain of Yggdrasil, a field so vast it can accommodate all the forces of existence, so perfectly designed for its purpose that it seems less a battlefield than a cosmic stage. Here, under skies painted with the aurora of endings, all the major figures of the current age gather for the ceremony that will close one chapter of cosmic history and open another. The combats that unfold are less fights than dances, each pair of opponents moving through choreography ordained since the beginning of time. Odin faces Fenrir in a confrontation that represents the meeting of wisdom and wildness, order and freedom, the domesticated and the untamable. Thor battles Jörmungandr in a struggle between protection and transformation, the preservation of what is and the emergence of what must be. When the great wolf's jaws close around the Orfver, it is not murder but metamorphosis. Odin's consciousness expanding beyond the boundaries of individual existence to merge with the cosmic wisdom he has spent lifetimes gathering. When Thor's hammer strikes the world serpent's head, it is not destruction but liberation, freeing the massive creature to complete its role as agent of universal transformation. One by one, the familiar figures of the current age complete their appointed transformations. Gods and giants, heroes and monsters, all participate in the great ritual that will clear the cosmic stage for entirely new forms of existence. Their apparent deaths are actually graduations, transitions from one mode of being to another, higher form of consciousness. The series sees beyond the apparent ending to the renewal that follows. Fire engulfs all the worlds, not the flame of destruction, but the light of purification, the cosmic solvent that dissolves all current forms without destroying the essential consciousness that animated them. This is Surtur's fire, the southern flame that has waited since creation's dawn for this moment of cosmic recycling. Yet even as the fire consumes everything familiar, new shoots of possibility begin to emerge from the ashes. The earth sinks into the cosmic ocean and then rises again, green and fresh and beautiful, washed clean of all the accumulated karma of the previous age. New grass grows in meadows where divine halls once stood, sweet with the promise of stories yet to be told. The surviving gods gather in this renewed landscape. Not the same beings who fell at Ragnarok, but their essential natures reborn in forms appropriate to the new age. Balder returns from hell, his radiance even brighter than before, accompanied by HR and all the others whose transformations are now complete. They remember the previous age like a beautiful dream, honoring its achievements while embracing the infinite possibilities that now stretch before them. To mortals, LF and LF Rossa emerge from their hiding place within Yggdrasil's protective embrace to become the ancestors of the new human race. They carry within them the best wisdom of the previous age while remaining free from its limitations, able to build new civilizations based on deeper understanding of the cosmic principles that govern all existence. The seeress's voice grows softer as her prophecy nears its completion, the cosmic fire reflecting in her ancient eyes as she speaks of the world that will emerge from the apparent ending. This new reality will be characterized by perfect justice, universal wisdom, and the kind of beauty that can only arise when all contradictions have been resolved into higher synthesis. Death is not the enemy of life, she whispers, but its most faithful servant, the gardener who clears away the old growth so that new flowers might bloom. What seems like ending is actually beginning. What appears to be loss is actually the discovery of treasures too precious to be contained within the old forms. You rest now in the peace that comes from understanding the true nature of transformation, feeling the gentle currents of change flowing through your own being as they flow through all existence. The prophecy of Ragnarok is not a threat but a promise, not a warning of destruction but a vision of renewal so complete and beautiful that its anticipation brings not fear but joy. Sleep comes like the gentle fire of purification, burning away everything unnecessary while preserving everything essential, preparing your consciousness for the wonders that await in dreams and in the waking world beyond dreams, where every ending opens into new beginnings and every story finds its perfect completion in the greater story that encompasses all stories. Asterisk, asterisk, you drift now into the final movement of the cosmic symphony, where twilight and dawn merge in a single moment of infinite beauty. Feel yourself suspended in the sacred pause between what was and what will be, witnessing the gentle transformation that completes the great circle of existence. Here, at the edge of endings and beginnings, the deepest mysteries reveal themselves like flowers blooming in the spaces between heartbeats. The twilight comes not as darkness, but as the soft glow that precedes the most magnificent sunrise ever conceived. Across the plain of Yggdrasil, where the final ceremonies of the current age unfold with the stately grace of seasons changing, every participant moves with the serene dignity of dancers performing steps choreographed by destiny itself. There is no hatred here, no anger or revenge, only the profound love that motivates the universe to continually transform itself into ever more beautiful expressions of its infinite nature. Odin stands at the center of this cosmic mandala, his ravens circling overhead in spirals that trace the pathways between worlds. Hugin and Munin, thought and memory, carry with them not just the experiences of the current age, but the seeds of wisdom that will sprout in the consciousness of the new world. Their wings catch the light of Surtur's approaching fire, transforming it into rainbow patterns that dance across the twilight sky like aurora made from crystallized dreams. The Allfather's single eye reflects the accumulated knowledge of countless ages. Every secret learned, every mystery penetrated, every truth discovered through sacrifice and dedication. Yet in this moment of cosmic completion, his greatest wisdom lies not in what he knows, but in his willingness to release that knowledge, to let it flow back into the cosmic stream where it will nourish the consciousness of beings yet unborn. Fenrir approaches with steps that shake the foundations of all worlds. Yet his movement is as gentle as a parent approaching a sleeping child. The great wolf's eyes hold no malice, only the profound sadness of one who must fulfill a role that brings pain to those he loves. When his jaws close around Odin's form, it is with the tenderness of a gardener harvesting fruit that has reached perfect ripeness, the careful touch of one who knows that what appears to be ending is actually the beginning of something infinitely more beautiful. Odin's consciousness, freed from the limitations of individual existence, expands to fill all space and time. Merging with the cosmic wisdom he has served throughout his incarnation, his sacrifice becomes the seed from which new forms of divine awareness will grow. His willingness to surrender control opening pathways for kinds of consciousness that could never have emerged within the old cosmic order. Viwar, the silent witnesses his father's transformation with perfect understanding, knowing that this apparent loss is actually the most precious gift Odin could give to the emerging future. The thick boot that Viwar has been crafting throughout the ages from discarded leather scraps now reveals its true purpose, not as protection but as a bridge between the old age and the new. When he places his foot against Fenrir's jaw, it is not to harm the great wolf, but to complete the circuit of transformation that allows the old forms to dissolve gracefully into new configurations of possibility. Across the cosmic battlefield, Thor faces Jörmungandr in their final dance of mutual recognition. The world's serpent rises from the depths, not as an enemy, but as Thor's completion. The chaos principle that gives meaning to his order, the wildness that makes his protection necessary and beautiful. Their battle is actually a wedding ceremony, the sacred marriage between opposing forces that creates the friction necessary for new forms of existence to emerge. Mjolnir strikes the serpent's massive head with power accumulated through ages of righteous service, not to destroy but to liberate the consciousness trapped within the reptilian form. The world's serpent's death throes are actually birth pangs, the cosmic contractions that will bring forth new worlds from the matrix of possibility. Thor's own transformation follows immediately, the serpent's venom dissolving his physical form while preserving the essential protective love that defined his divine nature. Their mutual sacrifice creates a space of perfect balance where neither order nor chaos dominates. A cosmic womb where entirely new forms of existence can gestate safely until the moment comes for their birth into manifest reality. 9 steps Thor takes after striking the fatal blow. 9 sacred paces that mark the boundary between the old world and the new, each footprint becoming a foundation stone for the reality that will emerge from the ashes of transformation. Foundation stone for the reality that will emerge from the ashes of transformation. Freya meets his destined opponent with weapons borrowed and makeshift. Yet his apparent disadvantage masks the deeper truth that love requires no special armament to achieve victory over hatred. His sacrifice of the magical sword for the hand of his beloved, Ger, now reveals its cosmic significance. By choosing love over power, connection over domination, he has prepared himself to be the perfect agent of transformation, one whose very vulnerability becomes his greatest strength. The giants who oppose him represent not evil, but the raw materials of creation itself. The primal forces that must be engaged and transformed rather than simply defeated. Their battle becomes a dance of integration. The cosmic process by which the wild energies of chaos are persuaded to participate in the creation of new forms of ordered beauty. Loki appears at the head of his ship, Yggdrasil, constructed from the untrimmed nails of the dead, sailing across skies turned to ocean by the cosmic tears of transformation. Yet this vessel carries not invaders but midwives, beings whose role is to assist in the great birth that follows every great death. Loki himself has been transformed by his long imprisonment, his suffering having burned away everything petty and self-serving, leaving only the essential trickster energy that catalyzes necessary change. His confrontation with Heimdall represents the meeting of Boundary Keeper and Boundary Keeper, the guardian of thresholds and the one who makes crossing possible. Their mutual destruction is actually mutual completion, the resolution of the cosmic tension between stability and change that has driven the entire drama of the current age. In their final embrace, the rainbow bridge transforms from a pathway between existing worlds to a spectrum of infinite possibility, each color a potential reality waiting to be explored. Surtur advances from the south with his flaming sword raised high, yet he comes not as destroyer but as cosmic cleanser, the fire that purifies without consuming the essential nature of what it touches. His flames represent the light of pure consciousness, the illumination that reveals the temporary nature of all forms while preserving the eternal awareness that inhabits them. As Surtur's fire spreads across all the worlds, it burns only what is ready to be released, leaving untouched the seeds of new growth that have been preparing throughout the current age for this moment of liberation. The flames dance with colors beyond any earthly rainbow, each hue representing a different quality of consciousness, being freed from its previous limitations and prepared for new forms of expression. Yggdrasil, the cosmic tree, sways in these purifying winds like a great dancer responding to music only it can hear. Its roots drink deeply from the wells of transformation, while its branches shelter those precious elements of the old creation that will serve as foundation stones for the new. Within its protective embrace, Elef and Elef Rossa wait in perfect trust, knowing that their time of emergence approaches with the inevitability of dawn following night. The earth sinks into the cosmic ocean like a tired swimmer finally, allowing themselves to rest in the supporting waters. All the accumulated karma of the current age dissolves in this universal baptism, every deed and thought and dream being composted into the fertile medium from which new realities will grow. The waters themselves glow with bioluminescent patterns that spell out the genetic code of the coming transformation. Yet even as the familiar landmarks disappear beneath the waves, new formations begin to emerge. Not the same mountains and valleys that existed before, but geological expressions of consciousness evolved beyond its previous limitations. These new lands rise from the depths, already clothed in vegetation more beautiful than any earthly garden. Each plant and tree a living poem celebrating the victory of love over fear, connection over separation, growth over stagnation. The surviving gods gather on these renewed shores not as the same beings who fell in the final battle, but as their essential natures reborn in forms appropriate to the new cosmic dispensation. Balder returns from his sojourn in hell, his radiance even more brilliant than before, accompanied by his brother Hr, whose inner light now matches his outer beauty. Together, they represent the resolution of all apparent opposites, the synthesis that emerges when seeming contradictions are revealed as complement. complementary aspects of a greater unity, VR and Volley. Survivors of the old pantheon bring with them the accumulated wisdom of the previous age, while remaining free from its limitations. Their presence provides continuity without stagnation, ensuring that the lessons learned through countless eons of experience will inform the new creation without constraining its infinite potential for fresh discovery. Modi and Magni, Thor's sons, inherit their father's protective nature but express it through new modalities, appropriate to a world where love has finally triumphed over fear. The hammer Mjolnir, recovered from the ashes of transformation, has itself been renewed, its power now flowing toward creation rather than destruction, building rather than breaking, blessing rather than battling. New gods emerge from the matrix of possibility. Divine beings whose very existence was impossible within the constraints of the old cosmic order, but who represent natural expressions of consciousness freed from its previous limitations. These fresh deities bring gifts beyond imagination, new forms of beauty, unexplored territories of love, undiscovered countries of wisdom that expand the very definition of what it means to be divine. Heni, the silent god whose role in the current age was mysterious and undefined, reveals himself as the harbinger of new forms of consciousness. The one whose apparent simplicity masked profound depth of understanding. His gift to the new age is the ability to perceive unity underlying all diversity, to see the single thread of love that weaves through every apparent conflict and reveals it as a dance of cooperation. From Yggdrasil's protection emerge Elef and Elef Rosa, the man and woman who will become the ancestors of the new human race. Yet they are not the same kind of beings as their predecessors, having been transformed by their proximity to the cosmic tree during the Great Transition. They carry within their cells the genetic memory of both the achievements and the mistakes of the previous age, enabling them to begin their new civilization from a foundation of hard-won wisdom rather than innocent ignorance. Their children will inherit this expanded awareness, growing into beings capable of direct communication with the divine, of conscious participation in the ongoing creation of reality. The separation between gods and mortals that characterized the old age dissolves into partnership with human and divine consciousness working together to explore the infinite possibilities that the new cosmic order makes available. The new sun rises in skies painted with colors that have no names because they represent qualities of light that did not exist before the Great Transformation. This solar radiance carries within its spectrum not just illumination but direct transmission of love, wisdom, and beauty, nourishing all life with the very qualities that make existence meaningful and joyous. The new moon phases through cycles that mark not just the passage of time but the rhythm of cosmic creativity itself, its changing face reflecting the endless dance of manifestation and dissolution, form and emptiness, known and unknown, that characterizes reality at its deepest level. Under its gentle light, dreams become prophetic, intuition becomes reliable, and the boundary between inner and outer worlds becomes permeable to beneficial influence. Stars arrange themselves in configurations that serve as both navigation aids and meditation objects, their patterns encoding the fundamental principles of cosmic harmony in visual form. To study the new constellations is to receive direct instruction in the art of living in alignment with the universal principles that govern all beneficial transformation. Seasons flow into one another with perfect grace, each bringing its unique gifts while maintaining seamless continuity with those that precede and follow it. Spring arrives not as the conquest of winter, but as its natural fulfillment. Summer emerges not as the defeat of coolness, but as its perfect complement. The new world breathes with the rhythm of perfect health. Every cycle supporting every other cycle in an endless dance of mutual nourishment. The new creation spreads outward from the original seed of transformation like ripples on a cosmic pond, each wave carrying the vibration of love and wisdom into previously unexplored territories of possibility. New worlds condense from the matrix of pure potential, each one a unique expression of the infinite creativity that characterizes consciousness when it is finally freed from all limitations. Time itself transforms from a river flowing in one direction to an ocean available for exploration in any direction, allowing beings to visit their own past and future states of consciousness while remaining grounded in the eternal present moment that contains all possibilities. Memory becomes not just record-keeping, but active communion with all phases of one's existence, while anticipation becomes not anxiety about unknown futures, but joyful preparation for adventures, certain to exceed all expectations. Death, which in the old age was seen as ending, reveals itself in the new dispensation as simply another form of transformation, no more final than the change from caterpillar to butterfly. Beings learn to shapeshift not just their bodies, but their entire mode of existence, exploring different forms of consciousness, like children playing in an infinite cosmic playground. Love, which in the previous age was often constrained by fear and limitation, expands to become the fundamental force of physics itself, the attractive power that holds all things together while simultaneously encouraging them to grow beyond their current boundaries. Relationships become laboratories for the exploration of ever deeper forms of connection and understanding. Wisdom ceases to be a rare commodity hoarded by a few and becomes as abundant as sunlight, available to all who open themselves to receive it. The new creation operates on principles of unlimited abundance, where sharing increases rather than diminishes what is shared, where giving enriches both giver and receiver beyond their previous capacity to hold wealth. Beauty pervades every aspect of existence, from the grandest cosmic formations to the smallest details of daily life. Art and life merge into a single, seamless expression of the joy that characterizes consciousness when it recognizes its own infinite nature. Every breath becomes poetry, every heartbeat becomes music, every thought becomes sculpture in the medium of possibility itself. Peace settles over all creation like morning dew, not the peace of exhaustion after conflict, but the peace of perfect understanding. The tranquility that comes when all beings recognize their fundamental unity despite their surface diversity. Wars become impossible not through enforcement, but through the simple recognition that fighting oneself serves no beneficial purpose. You rest now in this vision of ultimate fulfillment, feeling your own consciousness expanding to encompass these infinite possibilities. The story of Norse mythology completes itself not in ending, but in opening. Not in conclusion, but in commencement of adventures beyond the capacity of any single tale to contain. Sleep comes like the gentle transition from one beautiful dream to another, even more beautiful dream, carrying you forward into the renewal that awaits not just in mythic futures, but in every moment when consciousness chooses love over fear, growth over stagnation, connection over separation. The cosmic story continues, always and forever, each ending becoming a beginning, each completion becoming a commencement, each rest becoming preparation for new adventures in the infinite playground of consciousness, exploring its own endless creative potential. You are part of this story, always have been, always will be, woven into the eternal tapestry of existence itself. Rest now, dream now, become now the very transformation you have witnessed, the very renewal you have experienced, the very love that drives all cosmic cycles toward their perfect completion in joy beyond measure, peace beyond understanding, beauty beyond the capacity of any finite mind to fully comprehend but not, beyond the capacity of any heart to fully receive and embody.